Well, hello there and welcome to the V4 Future Sports Festival. We are back for day 2 live here in Budapest, Hungary, where we're bringing you a 2v2 FIFA 22 competition with a €25,000 prize pool. If you missed yesterday's action, don't worry, because we're doing it all again today in Group B. My name is Brandon Smith and joining me is that man, Richard Buckley. Rich, we're back on our travels, we're back commentating FIFA esports action, and more importantly, we are amongst it in day 2 here right now.
It was an incredible day 1 that we saw transpire with what can only be described as a devastating exit for Slovakia. They were on 6 points after 2 matches played in the group. They crashed out of the tournament on goal difference. Today, will we see a repeat? Will we see potentially some of the favourites fall? All that and more to get underway before we kick off in around, 15 minutes time?
Yeah, plenty of games taking place today. Of course, you can probably see on the intro to the stream, we have got 4 more national teams all involved. Of course, it's 2 players for each of those national teams. We've got Serbia, Croatia, Hungary also involved today, and it's going to be a really, really packed one with Romania also involved in there too. We saw 2 teams go through yesterday. Huge congratulations, of course, to the 2 nations that have already gone through to tomorrow's finals, which is going to be a big one. €11,000 will be played for tomorrow. Let's have a look at the standings of what you might have missed yesterday. There, as we said, it was a big day of action. I still can't believe that the Slovakians didn't go through. The Slovakians duo of Revi and Christie, they had 6 points yesterday. We laughed and we said at one point they were already through after 2 games because they should have been through.
Yeah, they certainly should have been, but that is how yesterday did finalise. The Czechs on top with the 2 Polish players finishing in second. Today we are focusing on Group B, the Croatians, the Hungarians, the Serbs and the Romanians. My good friend Brandon Smith will run you through all of those players taking part today very shortly indeed, but you can just see the table there. Is there anyone that your eyes sort of casting to? I find it very hard to look past the Romanians early doors.
Yeah, the Romanians look very, very good, don't they? I mean, they're built up of a legend in himself, a competitive FIFA legend in Ovi. He was a content creator, streamer. You know, he's been to a FIFA Interactive World Cup 3 times in his career as well. He's a very experienced FIFA player. He's alongside fresh blood, you would say, in Romania right now. 18 years of age, Razvan Pui. Plays for Team Hullet. Yes, that is Ruud Hullit's own esports organisation. Surrounded by unbelievable FIFA players that are outside of Romania as well. Levi de Weed, a really big name in the Netherlands at the moment. They look like a great duo. They've been posting on social media that they've been practicing before that. A lot of people just turned up here in in Hungary, and it's right, let's just play the tournament as it is. And we saw that yesterday. We saw the cracks start to appear for the duos that hadn't been practicing.
I mean, look, the Slovenians, it weren't a great day, was it? -9 goal difference, 0 points on the table. I think the big thing that we've already picked up on in 2v2 is not only the individual ability of both players, is one player better than the other, is the content creator potentially maybe not as experienced in the esports landscape, but also how they are forming a duo. Is the chemistry there? Is the team cohesion there in the duo? Because if it's not, unfortunately, you're not going to be going through. Yesterday, Brandon, we saw the best teams go through. Not necessarily the best individuals, but the best teams. Poland didn't look great in the early match, but as the day went on, they got better and better.
And that's what you've got to do. You've got to get better and better throughout this competition. You get 3 games in the group stages. However, it's all about you guys at home as well. We want you to get involved and send us your selfies. As crazy as that might sound, one of our fantastic sponsors at CU want you to get involved at home. There's a number of links, I believe, right now in the Twitch chat. We've had pictures coming in from all over Central Europe, haven't we, Richard? From Hungary, from Slovakia, as you can see there, Slovenia, fans, family members, friends, all supporting them. I'm still waiting for your selfie to pop up on there.
It'll be coming. Don't worry about that.
But I'm just waiting for it to come through. When is it going to come through?
We've got another 2 days before we have to send our selfie in. But if you do want to get involved, all the links are available, and you can also win some pretty cool prizes as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can do indeed. If you do send us a selfie, please do. It could be a selfie to me and Richard as well. You could win a signed V4 Future Sports Festival chargeback kit as well. So if your phone needs a bit of charge when you're out and about on your travels, have a signed one from all of us here in Hungary. If you missed the day 1 action, do not worry. We've got a recap video for you right now. jam-packed day of action here yesterday at the V4 Future Sports Festival. Do not worry, and more importantly, do not move away today. We got 6 games back to back to back to back to back to back. I think that was 6 times I said that there. Plenty of action, Richard, because we've got to find out who's going through this group in Group B.
I mean, look, the big thing is that we can pick up from yesterday. You can't miss a game, because you miss one game, the entire group could change. So make sure you're coming back on the start of every hour to make sure you don't miss a minute of the action. 2v2 FIFA, it's quick, it's frantic, and a lot can change in the table in only one game of FIFA. So make sure that you're joining us for every single match kickoff.
And this is the big one as well, because the home nation, Hungary, are in this. The Hungarians are in this tournament with the face of FIFA in Hungary. Yes, Gabinho, you were the past V4 Future Sports Festival winner. He is commentating next door to us right now. He's involved in this tournament, but Molnar Garbo, the Hungarian beast, Richard, had an unbelievable FIFA 20 before the pandemic that we found ourselves in, was a top 3 grand finalist in the last time this tournament happened as well. He's back as an influencer. He hasn't lost that competitive edge.
No, not at all. He's been telling us on social media as well. I think we were both messaging Molnar Garbo. He was saying, I'm here, I'm ready to play. I've got that competitive experience, I've got that events experience. We're looking forward to seeing him in action very shortly indeed. But before that, we've got our game 1 to get underway with, and that's Croatia against Serbia. Brandon.
Yeah, we do indeed. But before we do that, we've had the pleasure of having the players in Budapest for a few days now. We've actually been able to ask them a great set of questions, and one of the ones we want to find out is FIFA 22, it might be new, but what will these players change in the game?
First and the most important, I would put a new server on Balkans, because our closest one is in Germany, and everyone can imagine how it is to play against a German who lives on the server, and I live like, I don't know, how far away. So that's the first thing, most important. And second one, the second most important thing is to make the game faster. If you make the game faster, everything changes, the skill gap increases just by the simple thing, increase the game speed. But since FIFA 20, then 21, then 22, the gameplay gets slower and slower and slower, and skill gap decreases, and my skill decreases as well, because anyone can beat me, right, I guess. And that's it. And probably goalkeepers, they're like, I mean, probably they made them to look like a Spider-Man, you know, probably someone in EA likes Spider-Man, so they are like Spider-Man right now, because they think that the pass in 16 meters or 5 meters from a goalkeeper travels the same speed as the goalkeeper from one side of a goal to the other side. Maybe they compared it to NHL, because the net is a little bit smaller there, so they think, you know, they can react like a Spider-Man. But yeah, so goalkeepers are the third most important thing, I guess.
I would say the passing technique, when like my player that I want to pass the ball, he's running and showing his hand, and then he suddenly stops when I attempt the pass. That would do wonders for me, I suppose, but everything else is fine. I'm really satisfied with the game, and with every passing year the game is much better, and this FIFA is by far the best, if you ask me.
Everything.
Maybe I would remove the corner glitches, that it's very effective this way and this year, so yeah, I would definitely do that.
I would surely change the goalkeepers. I would make them a bit worse, even though they patched them, but they are still too good now. And I would most likely make a game based on a bigger skill gap, so that a better player always wins. Because in FIFA you have so much things that are unfortunately like they are, but yeah, I would make a game that is based on more on a skill basis.
If we're talking about the gameplay, I would say that right now the finesse shots were very OP. It was something that a lot of people could do outside the box. Also, maybe more to lower the skill gap right now with the new patch. At the start of the game, I very much liked the gameplay, because worse players actually perform better than now. With the new patch, I feel like the skill gap has increased, and I feel it gives a disadvantage to people who don't have the best teams. If we want to talk about the market, we can be here till tomorrow, so I wouldn't touch that.
I would remove the pay-to-win factor in the game.
A lot of changes maybe I should do, but the biggest issue in this game is the pace, the major pace of the game. So I would like this game more pacey.
I would say I'd change nothing in FIFA 22 because I like that game more than the FIFA 21, FIFA 20. So this is the best version outside the last 3 years.
Possibly to minimize the RNG factor. In my opinion, FIFA 22 is the best FIFA since last years. But if I could change one thing, is a remove delay in every game.
No bounces.
I think I would make it a bit faster. The gameplay to be with a faster speed.
I think to add a few more moves and the gameplay to be faster.
We heard what all the pros would be changing there if they had their magic wish from a genie and could pick one thing that they could change for FIFA 22. Some of them very happy, some of them maybe change a couple more things about the game. But all the preview is done, Brandon. We've got just over 5 minutes left until we get our first game underway. You got to be excited for today. I think today's actually going to be better than yesterday, and that's quite hard to do.
That's a very, very big call you've said there. That's all our games today. As you can see, the duos of each national sort of duo side we're seeing there. Croatia up against Serbians, 2 players in the first one. Lots to talk about today, lots to get into as well. Cannot wait to see the Hungarians against the Romanians a little bit later. I think that's probably going to be one of my standout games of the day. But that sort of Croatian duo, I think they're one to watch. Look at the background of both of those 2 players, Richard. They play a lot of FIFA esports, and still to this day they are competing.
No, yeah, 100%. The Croats definitely are probably second favourites, maybe behind the Romanians. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what the Serbians can do coming into this tournament. A little bit of a dark horse, a little bit of an unknown quantity coming into it, and they very well could perform. And then we can't look past the Hungarians, their home tournament, their tournament that we're here in Budapest. But we'll see the Hungarians very shortly indeed. That's our first game of the day. For anybody who's watching at home and maybe doesn't know too much about the Croatians and the Serbians, tell us a little bit about them, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, well, first and foremost, Croatia, that team is made up of NH Panic, a player that has been involved in the virtual Bundesliga in Germany. Then you've got FIFA Fico, or FIFA Fico, depending on your pronunciation there. He's an E-Bundesliga champion for SK Sturm Graz. He's been a Gfinity Elite Series champion. He's played in EA major tournaments. This man has been all around the world competing at FIFA. So, you know, for him playing in a tournament like this really isn't much of a difference. On the flip side, for Serbia, a player called Bristima, if I pronounce his name right. I used to open his rewards.
Get him anything?
I used to do share play top 100 rewards with him back in FIFA 20, and I was looking through the DMs again today just to go through, and I can say that I didn't really get him anyone. Hence why it ended quite abruptly, and we're not doing it still in FIFA 22. Anyway, enough of us talking. Let's get our teams out to the stage now, and yeah, come on, head out to the stage. That is the side of Croatia there. Bristima and Krunalex making up that duo of FIFA players there. Krunalex, I've been hunting around for just more information about this man. He seems like he's just kept himself away from social media on all accounts. I found 2 old YouTube videos from early this year, and other than that, I'm going content creation way, in all honesty. I haven't really seen too much on the pro scene.
Yeah, a bit of a recluse. I'm sure we'll find more about him as the day goes on. Well, you saw the Serbians right there. Let's meet who's going to be on this Croatian side. The Croats, it's your time to shine.
There you go, handshakes between the two teams as we open up proceedings for day 2 here at the V4 Future Sports Festival. Group B, we are bringing you FIFA Ultimate Team 2v2 action in a €25,000 prize pot. Glasses are on from NH Panic. He's ready for game time. And I've just heard as well earlier today is that obviously we already know there are squad restrictions in place, but because of it's a 2v2 format, it's somebody's account that they of course are playing off within these restrictions. So I believe they're playing off Nick's account, which is of course for Team Croatia on that side. Going to be interesting to see how they line up within the restrictions that are allowed to play in.
Yeah, certainly will be. Just a couple of sort of final adjustments being made right now. I really think we're going to get off to a bright start here, just as it's always bright, it's seemingly in Croatia, as they get 2,715 hours of sun every year. That's more than Sydney in Australia. It's always a sunny day.
And that's why it's a nice place to go on a summer break. I have been there.
It certainly is. Whereas in Serbia, I found an unbelievable fact.
Is it unbelievable to you or unbelievable to the world?
The world, because they've got a village made entirely out of stone, believe it or not. Yes, you've read that correctly. You've heard that correctly. The stone village of Gotsu, it's located on the side of a mountain, is the most unusual village in Serbia, with houses built exclusively out of stone, mud, and natural materials. Time hasn't damaged them.
How long are we going on this one?
So people still live in the houses. Unbelievable.
Is that going to be the common theme again of today?
You're going to get a little fact before every game just to get you going. Like, oh, I didn't know that. Now let's get into some FIFA.
Well, you know the facts now about these two national sides. They are made up of, as you said, a content creator and a pro player. A couple of teams you could say it's debatable of how good the influencer potentially has been. Maybe they're influencing the game a little bit too much with how good they are in their resume. But we are on the way. Day 2 of the V4 Future Sports Festival. Who will be joining? Those two teams already in tomorrow's finals. The Czech Republic and Poland sit and wait patiently in the playoffs, which will be concluding tomorrow afternoon here live in Budapest, Hungary. It's nice to be back at a LAN event, and it's even better to see smiles on pro players' faces when they know they're playing for cash and, more importantly, in a competitive environment.
We're just having a quick look across the teams here. Seems like Alex and Bristamir going with more of a Premier League defence. The rule breaker Rudiger, rule breaker Trent Alexander-Arnold across that back four. Marquinhos and what seems to be Hakimi at left back defensively. It's actually Renard Lodi, apologies, at left back. The road to the knockouts, Renard Lodi, who's currently out of position. On the flip side of that, for the Croats, FIFA Feature and NH Panic, a quick glance across the team. I can see David Ginola in there, Mbappe on this left-hand side. What looks to be Ruud Gullit in midfield, alongside Fofana, the League and Player of the Month foot item SBC that was released.
Kanta gets caught up on the other side.
It is Gullit.
If you don't know the format of this one, we will use golden goal if we need to at any point. It's an aggregate scoreline across the two games. And there was one point yesterday where we did need golden goal. And it was a ridiculous game with Slovakia involved in it. And our biggest scoring game came at the end of play yesterday. A 5-1 win. Czech Republic against Slovenia. David Ginola looking to open up his account today. Well defended by Marquinhos.
If you're wondering how these teams were assembled, there was a set of restrictions that were in play. You're allowed up to 1 icon, up to 3 non-icon players with an overall rating of 90 or higher, and all the players must have an overall rating of 89 or below. The goalkeeper does not count. However, if you do not have 1 icon, you may substitute an extra 90 plus non-icon player.
Building up again. Just onside Mbappe. Serbians looking to get things moving. Goes for a finesse there. I mean, speaking of looking at Kristamir's account, he looks absolutely stacked. I don't think he'll be needing me to open his rewards. David Ginola's in there, R9's in there, Mbappe's in there. pretty much your standard pro team, in all honesty.
And Ginola is one of the weird ones because, also one of the special ones, I should say, because he doesn't actually fall into the icon category. He's a foot hero, meaning that you can get him in alongside sort of the below 90 players because he's only 89 rated. So if you've got the coins to get him in, it's sort of a magic player. A secret ingredient almost in your squads.
Nice build up. I just think they are going to be an underrated team today, Croatia. The Croatian duo of NH Panic and FIFA Feature.
It's a great ball.
Very, very experienced. Ginola. Here's Serbia now. Kaban, Neymar back to goal. Is he going to tease the defender? Reverse Elastica. It was very nice, but Ferland Mendy for the first time being used in a long time. Didn't see him used once yesterday. We'll get the nod and the call up.
The reason Ferland Mendy's in the team, because the Adidas numbers up foot item Eda Militao is in that back four alongside Marquinhos and Hakimi. Marquinhos probably number one most used player across all these teams, I would say.
And also, in terms of the icons that have been used, only one 90-plus icon can be sort of outfield on the pitch. The goalkeeper doesn't count towards the restrictions. What have we seen now? Pele, R9 and Hullet? Is that the main three we've been seeing in total across the 2 days?
Yeah, R9 probably number one most used, but we have seen now Pele and also Ruud Gullit involved in these squads. I think choosing Gullit as a sort of centre mid icon is brave. Not having an attacking player as that marquee player in your squad, but if you can dominate the midfield with Ruud Gullit.
I mean, I don't know the price tag of Ruud Gullit. But compared to R9,
yeah,
a couple of million in it.
Yeah, I think R9's probably up maybe 8-9 million. Gullit probably around 4 to 5. So he's certainly the cheaper of the icons. I don't know if it's a price point. Maybe he just loves Ruud Gullit in the team.
It's Nick Holsti, AK, and NH Panic. It's that team they're using here that FIFA Feature, of course, is part of. They're representing Croatia in this tournament. The story of the V4 Future Sports Festival. It ran in FIFA 18, as you can imagine. There has been a couple of years pause between there and now.
It's a great ball.
Mbappe might not have the legs on him. Ferland Mendy will win it. But what makes this tournament really, really special, though, Richard, is that, of course, it was originally built on the fact there was just 4 nations involved in it: Hungary, Poland, Czech Republic and Slovakia. Now it's been extended this year with 4 more nations being involved, those made up of a content creator and a pro player, if you don't know the story of this tournament. And with open arms, we welcome Croatia, Slovenia, Serbia, and of course Romania this time round, which really does excite this group up. The home nation Hungary will be involved. Morna Garbo will be in action in our next game today. Talk about pressure on their shoulders.
Absolutely. The Hungarians are coming into this with a load of pressure, really. Not only that, your home nation and you've not had to travel to really get here, but also the fact that the defending champion of this tournament is a Hungarian FIFA player in Gabinho. And he's going to be here watching as well, because, as you mentioned earlier, he's only one door down on the Hungarian broadcast, giving some of his expertise on the show. So certainly I think there will be pressure there, but Monagabo, he deals with pressure. Do you know what I mean? Chris Madge, the pro player, he's been selected for this tournament. Pressure shouldn't really be a factor.
I can assure you right now, Monagabo would have had a very big input on who that would have been as his duo for this tournament. Great effort again. Chance for Serbia, deflected. Goalkeeper can't get the rebound. It's going to be an easy finish for Mbappe. And they'll take those all day long. It might not be the cleanest of goals there, but the goal's a goal, and that will count on the aggregate scoreline heading into that second leg, whatever happens now.
Serbians 1-0 up. Deflection inside the box. Donnarumma was just wrong-footed. Couldn't get across his goal. And they've looked for this ball over the top time and time again, whether it's Mbappe running onto it, Ginola, that time R9. Certainly can see the game plan that they're wanting to implement here. That early goal gives them that little bit more just sort of hold off on as well now to play those long balls, knowing that all you need is one over the top, double your scoreline. You put yourself in a fantastic position going into leg number 2.
We spoke about this yesterday a little bit, Rich, in the opening games of the day. First game in a 2v2, live on broadcast, live in the tournament for some teams. It's going to take a little bit longer just to get used to playing on a big stage of lights in your face, cameras in your face. No matter if you practice at home or not, it's a very different environment you're playing in now. Here's Hullet.
I mean, look, the first legs yesterday, out of the 6 games that we saw in the first legs, half of them ended in a draw. The first leg, in particular 1-1. 5 of the 6 of them ended with a 1-goal swing. People weren't dominating the first leg. It only was in the final match between Slovenians and the Czechs was where we saw a big goal swing happen, and it was a 4-0 goal swing for that matter of fact. But my point is, don't ride too much on the first leg of the game, because you have a full 90 minutes to turn the game around. Just don't lose heavily in the first leg. Give yourself something to play for in the second leg, and typically you see games turned around.
I think it speaks volumes of how competitive this tournament has been, where you have had, I wouldn't say low scoring games. Goals have been going on both sides, but no one's kept a clean sheet. I think there was a clean sheet kept at one point across one leg, which was yesterday, Czech Republic against Slovenia. Other than that, everyone's a bit leaky at the back. I don't think anyone's going to be completely solid there. It's very difficult to do, to defend in a 2v2 environment. Someone's got to, pull out a play. You've got to make decisions constantly all the time. The player switching is frantic. Take a couple of seconds just to watch it on your screen now. You'll see how frantic it really is.
And also, not only that, but they wouldn't have a lot of time to practice together, the two players. I mean, we saw, I think on social media, the Romanians, Olvi and Avi Pui, were saying that they were practicing yesterday in the hotel, and they were getting good practice in, but we've not really seen that across the board from a lot of the teams. So I think certainly the first game, first leg, for a lot of these duos is just feeling how your teammate plays. Not necessarily your opponent, your teammate. Are they making runs? Do they make runs off the ball? Are they wanting the one over the top? Do they prefer playing to feet? All these things that you do in real life when you start playing with a new team, or you've got new teammates, you have discussions, you realise how each other wants to play. That's what you have to do here as well.
And one thing that I love in these duos as well, there will be that one player that at times has to go on a bit of a solo run, inject their bit of flair onto the pitch. And we saw some unbelievable goals when players did roll that dice yesterday. Maybe a 35-yard finesse shot that eventually went in from Poland in the end, after they took about 10 failed attempts before that. They found the top bins barring in. But there has been some fantastic solo goals as well, where when you have got the players like David Ginola, R9 in your arsenal, it can cause havoc in that back line. Hakimi. The Croats currently trailing by a goal to 0. Brilliant feed. Wins a call. Oh, goes for a goal kick in the end. 9 minutes left of our first leg here between these two, and to be honest, Serbia have done a great job of just keeping Croatia quiet for a good 81 minutes in this.
Interesting formation as well we saw there, the 4-3-2-1. It's a formation that I actually quite like playing myself. Quite direct in your approach. Typically you go centre mids, and then you start to create little triangles. Left forward, left centre mid, centre mid. Your striker and your two right forward and left forward. You can get a lot of crosses, back post crosses into the box. There should be always a pass on in the 4-3-2-1. But it is a very sort of gung-ho formation. You're not going to necessarily keep a lot of possession. You're not going to necessarily control the game. You're always going to be looking on the front foot to play that ball in behind and to get that second or third goal, and that's how you control the game. You control the game through attrition. You control it through scoring more goals that your opponent doesn't feel like they've got a chance left in it. You're not dominating 70% of the ball and not allowing your opponent to even play.
Well, there will be last 5 minutes in this one. Will there be time for a comeback? Here's David Ginola, fake shot inside, looking to go on his own. Marquinhos stands strong and will win the ball back. In terms of defensively yesterday, I mean, we have to talk about Edwin van der Sar. Actually, he was here, there and everywhere. Petr Cech gets the nod in this one. Chance now, Ousmane Dembele off the bench. The angle was too tight. I rate the idea that he tried to cut back inside. It all became a little bit too predictable though, and Fofana, right place, right time to break that one up. Not fully though. As the duo of FIFA Feature and NH Panic will to come forward. Added time of just a minute now. That ball has to go forward. It can't go back.
We got 20 seconds. That's it.
There you go. That's our first game concluded. There is still a second leg to come up between this one, so do not go anywhere. But at the halfway point in this one, between the two sides, there's only 1-0 that separates them, and it was quite a fortunate goal that went in, wasn't it?
Yeah, certainly. The deflection bounced nicely for the Serbians. I think you're coming out of the back of that game, not really too much to write home about, in all honesty. There wasn't an abundance of chances for either side. I think that one at the end there with Ousmane Dembele, he probably wanted to hit that across the goalkeeper. Dembele just couldn't bring it down, couldn't get the shot across goal in time. We're going to get ready for the second leg very shortly indeed. But I think this duo, I should say, of the two Croatian players, they're not going to be overly disappointed. It's a 1-0 loss in the first leg, but you've still got a whole second leg to turn this game around.
Yeah, and let's be honest, a lot of the results yesterday ended 2-1, 3-2. They've been all very narrow, other than one game that was our last game of play yesterday. It was a 5-1 win swing in the end for the Czech Republic. We're going to go to a quick break. Now, when we return, we'll have that second leg between Croatia and Serbia. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
Welcome back to the V4 Future Sports Festival. You're joining us for day 2 of 3 here in lovely Budapest, Hungary. It's a big game at the moment. Game number 1 of the day. It's important to start with a win. We have got the Croats up against the Serbians here. And you're joined by myself, Richard Buckley, and Brandon Smith. Currently 1-0 to the Serbians. Not the best of first legs in terms of action, though.
I mean, it's the start you expect, isn't it? First game in a tournament, Richard. First taste of 2v2. Maybe nerves, maybe just getting used to playing it. Away from home and trying to find your groove and just trying to align, really. Defensively, going forward offensively too. But we are back underway, and it will be the Croats from right to left in that black strip, and Serbia kicking from left to right in the white. They did score a goal in that first game, Rich. They do lead by 1-0, but it was quite a fluky goal, in all honesty, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was. There was a deflection in the box. It got a rebound off the post and then found its way back into the path of Bristimir and Krun Alex, who happy to take a 1-goal lead into leg number 2 as Lionel Messi finesses over the bar.
And you might be wondering why there is such a difference in the teams here at the V4 Future Sports Festival. There are restrictions that had to be followed in the process and the build-up to this tournament. That did include the following: any goalkeeper of your choosing, icon or not, one 90-plus icon in the team as well, and a whole plethora of other players that maybe had to be above an 89 rated, below an 89 rated in there as well, just to completely create the biggest and the best 11 you could. Hence why you're seeing such a mixture of players in there, with this man on the field in pretty much every team. Kylian Mbappe looking to cause havoc in the final third. Defended well, very well by FIFA Feature and his teammate for this one, Nick Holstate, known as NH Panic 87, a virtual Bundesliga player from past times. Over the heads to both represent Croatia in this one, in their first time involved in the V4 Future Sports Festival. Same for both of these nations.
Yeah, I think the Croatians have come out nice and strong here, to be honest, in the second leg. They look to be on the front foot. They're getting the ball on this left-hand side, the top of the pitch a lot. Whether it's Kylian Mbappe or David Ginola looking to get down the byline. There's certainly an emphasis to get forward, to try and get a goal early. But not seeing too much as of yet in terms of final product.
Fofana does get the nod in this team. At the moment has held his own. Ruud Gullit, first time we've seen him involved in this tournament as a whole. Ginola twisting, turning. Fofana from distance. Now he's going to have a shot from there. Will the French midfielder look to cause havoc? Mbappe will! First save we've seen from Petr Cech in Serbia's goal. And that's an awful corner. Potential counter-attack now. It could be a 2v2 if it's moved with pace. It's Mbappe that will tee his run. A cheeky little double-tap pass into Arno.
I was actually shaking my head there. I think the over-the-top through ball, even though it looked on, Hakimi's always favourite to outpace R9. As good as Ronaldo Nazario is, pace is probably one thing where he's only got 93 pace on his mid-icon. We're not using the primes here, so he's a little lacking in that area. Hakimi, quickest right back. Quickest usable right back, I should say. Certainly on the game. One of the best fullbacks in the entire FIFA 22 database. So he's always going to be favourite in that scenario.
Ginola, maybe a cheeky finesse from that far out. Didn't fancy it that time, R9. Happy to interchange and offload that ball. Tell you what though, you speak about Hakimi, he has been outstanding so far, 26 minutes into this one. And has made life a misery for David Ginola. Now on that left hand side, whip towards the back post, brilliant save, he timed it green, he couldn't do anything more there.
Again, it's a bad corner. Just look at the numbers at the back here as well.
The corners were a massive part of quite a few teams yesterday in the way they played, especially Slovakia. Though they went out the tournament, they actually scored 2 goals from a corner, the short corner into the box, little double tap. It could be, I can't even talk. Neymar will score. A double tap into Mbappe were the words I were looking for. And one more pass into the path of Neymar. The PSG duo linking up in fine form, and that's going to be a 2-goal advantage. And it all comes from such a simple thing there, Richard. A corner that's played short, and Arne just pickpocket the ball off the toes of the player again.
Yeah, the corner came in. It wasn't the best of corners. They didn't work it correctly at all, but the counter-attack, it was sort of stagnated a little bit. They switched the play and then worked their way back in field. It was on the transition. The Croats couldn't get bodies back behind the ball. Really good work from the Serbians. The the over-the-top through ball as it was into the path of Mbappe. He nods it on. Relatively simple, to be honest. And Neymar's always going to be the favourite to slot in past a helpless goalkeeper.
Well, I mean, they're going to feel a little bit hard done, but aren't they? And they conceded feature because they're the time green header that Petr Cech somehow got two hands to. In those moments, you can't really do anything else other than just say the FIFA sort of gods weren't with me on that occasion. Well, a third of this one played. It's an aggregate scoreline of 2-0 to the Serbians.
Chance.
Could be 3-0 at this rate. The idea was there with Mbappe. Went for a reverse elastico to try and get past the defender. Hakimi hasn't really put a foot wrong as of yet. At fullback, looking to play his part in the attack. David Ginola can't offload that to Neymar as he would have wanted to. Kante had the wrong decision there. Does want to win the ball back for Serbia. You just need a goal or just something, do the Croats. Ginola gets the ball into this area here, and it's just trying to find the way into the box. What is the solution? What's the avenue? How can we get in there?
It was really nice play from David Ginola inside the box there. They won it high up the pitch, but the header from Messi's not accurate enough to transition on the counter-attack. I think he could have taken a little bit more time, to be honest, when he had Ginola inside the box there. Could have dribbled an extra couple of yards. Whenever you get inside the box, it's dangerous because your opponent can't back off you, because if they give you more space, the closer you get to goal, the less distance the pass you've got to play inside the box. How many times have we seen cutback scored? You get into the box, your opponent doesn't shut you down, they can't come towards you and tackle you, they can't press circle or square to slide tackle, because 9 times out of 10 it's a goal. And R9 capitalising on the mistake really should be 3-0 right now.
And what a way that would have been for them to go into half-time in this second leg with a 3-goal cushion. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case now. We've played the additional time. If they win the ball back, just get one touch on the ball. Is he onside? He is. Mbappe getting into no man's land. It's sort of been the same story across these games here, Rich. They get to that sort of area there. We know get down the byline, you can be really deadly. But it's just a combination of skill moves there, a flick of the stick, and it just seems like it's just delayed and delayed and delayed. So many more bodies get back in the box, and it just becomes impossible to find even one body that's free in that 6-yard box to finish it.
Well, that's where the big difference is between 2v2 and 1v1 FIFA as well. When Ginola creates that space on the wing and then plays the driven pass into Mbappe, it means that he has, if it's 1v1, one player to beat or an AI to beat, and then you're passing it into the box. Whereas when you're 2v2, I can press the ball, I can press Mbappe and mean that he can't turn me straight away, he can't take the ball past me, but you can either back me up and we can double up on him, or you can stand in the box and mark the cutbacks. You can mark whoever it is, Neymar, Messi, stood in the box waiting for the pass from the Kylian Mbappe who got played in. So certainly you have to be a little bit more creative. When it's played quick, the quicker you play, the harder it is to mark. The much better success you have. I remember that goal yesterday we saw, I think it was from Poland, where they played like 4 or 5 passes, quick, zip, 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 inside the box, little one around the corner, and it resulted in a goal.
Well, the one thing they do have in their favour here, Richard, for Croatian duo is that they're only 2 goals down. This could easily be flipped on its head if they get a goal right now with David Ginola involved. Can't find what they were looking for. Hullet can't get there on the rebound either. Lucky enough, Fofana is there. They've got to be better at just linking together. Ginola Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, 4 unbelievable attacking players.
Just not potent enough in the final third. We're not seeing enough sort of quickness. It looks a little bit pedestrian, to be honest. It looks a little bit slow. Just need to see that ball there. I really like. Now it needs to be quick. Zip it into players.
Chance Mbappe. There's the cutback. This is their chance we've been waiting for. Neymar again. Is it too much? No, it's just bouncing around the box. Check is there on the floor. And somehow just gets 2 hands on it. But again, in the right area, Rich. It's just, how do we navigate past that
in the middle.
last man? And now it could be even worse. What's the cutback? Here's the Serbians now. Well played by Fofana. If it wasn't for him, it could have been 3-0.
This game's starting to get a little bit stretched now. It's end to end. Hopeful over the top. That's what we expected coming into day number 2. I think when we were speaking earlier, we expected more goals. We expected slightly more end-to-end games. And this first match is exactly what we
Mbappe
said on the tin.
Just teased that one a bit better in the box for R9 to try and find you. He can't. Ball's coming in from the side of Croatia. Will be NH Panic 87, whose account this is that they are on, the team that they are using. Went for that over FIFA Ficho's team. Like it would give them a better chance in this. It could be all she wrote with Mbappe to conclude it for the Serbians. He went the wrong way, to be honest. He went for the ball roll. There was a little bit of goalkeeper movement, but to be honest, I thought the near post, if you'd be able to call it that, sort of the left-hand side for the striker facing the goal, looked to be the way to finish that.
I mean, firstly, it's an outstanding save from Donnarumma. He's managed to get his right knee on the ball to force it out. Didn't even go for a corner. You saw the goalkeeper movement slightly to the left-hand side. He opened up the near post slightly, but then I think Donnarumma was also positioning himself back, so just a great save all in all.
Messi. Can they carve them open on the counter-attack? The Croats need a goal. They're 2-0 down in aggregate. This is our first game of the day here in Group B. The V4 Future Sports Festival. Neymar. Now, chance off the post. Everything was perfect, other than the finish.
What else can they do? Beautiful feet from Neymar. The roulette, the little touch to the left-hand side, smashed it in at the near post. And again, it just didn't bounce to a player. It didn't bounce to a black shirt.
Again, just really, really nicely done. Cleaner as well in their attacks. More thought out in terms of the approach.
Just quicker as well. You see how quick Neymar got the ball shifted? It wasn't taking 2, 3, 4 touches. It was a little bit more instinctive.
Done by Fofana. One of the great things about FIFA 22 this year, there's just so much more in depth in terms of detailed statistics, passes. Only 4 passes between the two teams. That shows how balanced it's been in terms of possession. Mbappe. Now Messi, get on that left foot. We know he's got it. He doesn't really want to shoot on his right foot, in all honesty. Back to Fofana. Where's the pass opening up to? It's going to be Mbappe. Elastico as well. Still in possession, couple of step overs, still Mbappe. Scoop turn, ball roll, can't find David Ginola. It's just all too predictable now.
Winning the ball very high up the pitch though. Not the best of choice of pass there from Lionel Messi. Went for the double tap. Messi does pick the pieces back up. Lots of attacks in a very quick flurry.
Something's just got to stick though, Rich, at the moment.
It's not.
It isn't, and everything that they are throwing towards the Serbians, they have been able to deal with. Will Mbappe be onside if he can touch that one down? He will be. Brilliant save again. Donnarumma back to Neymar. It's over the bar and out for a goal kick with just 5 minutes left on the clock.
Wow, end-to-end FIFA being played right now. There was 3, 4 chances in the last sort of 15 to 17 minutes for this Croatian duo. It didn't fall for anything in the end. They didn't really get too many shots away at goal. Great save from Petr Cech on the first time of asking, and then the one that hit the post from Neymar. Shows how quickly you can counter-attack, though. Shows how quickly you can change a game. End-to-end FIFA. He played the ball over the top. Kylian Mbappe brought it down. I didn't know if he was going to pass it straight away to his right-hand side and playing his teammate. He decided to go for the shot. Big save, and then the follow-up from Neymar was high and wide over the crossbar. Well, 5 minutes left. Here we go.
4 minutes is not a long time, is it? Lozano can come on to try and just add something into this attack. Or is he going to be able to add? That's the problem. I don't think he's going to be able to add too much. Ousmane Dembele, this is the time! Again!
The Slovakians went out of the tournament by a 1-goal difference yesterday, so every single goal is important. Even if the Croats only get one back and they still lose this game 2-1, that could be a goal that in 5-6 hours time we're talking about and saying that was impactful.
Well, the goal needs to come now. It's going to be full-time. Lozano does well, gets the ball across that danger area again, but
so
Marquinhos will stand strong, and that should do us for game number 1. Hold my hands up. I maybe didn't expect to see this start from the Serbians, in all honesty, but Crude Alex and Bristamir will win that opening game here at the V4 Future Sports Festival by 2-0. And right now they sit top of the pile in Group B.
Took us about 7 hours to see a clean sheet yesterday. We've seen it in the first game of Group B. This Serbian side, 2-1-0 individual victories in the two-legged affair, and they will be top of the group as it stands. Obviously, we've only seen one match so far, but defensively looked really, really solid. A little bit of work to be done for the Croats, FIFA Ficho and NH Panic, but I think they will be okay in this group. And look, we've not seen the Hungarians or the Romanians play yet, but as of right now, I don't see them being necessarily like the whipping boys, as we've seen. No disrespect to Slovenia yesterday, but the Slovenians did struggle in their matches.
I mean, as we've nicknamed them, the Croats throughout this tournament underperformed there massively. That's 2 pro players there that have got unbelievable pro experience, LAN experience, live experience, but it's 2v2 people. If you're not synergizing, if you're not meshing, if you're not on the same wavelength, it just doesn't happen. Their icon pick was Hullet. It's not Pele. It's not R9. However, it's a long day. They still have 2 more group games to play. We are going to go to a quick break in a minute. Before we do that, we have to give a shout out to one of our brilliant sponsors in CU. We want you to take a selfie like that man. I think that's what you're doing right now. There you go. Taking a selfie of some sort and send it to us via the link that is in the Twitch chat right now. Send us your selfies. If you do, you could win some signed V4 Future Sports Festival power banks. So get yourselves involved, send your selfie, and you'll see some of the best ones in the break that we're going to go to right now. And we'll see you in a few minutes for our second game of the day.